wanted to talk today a little about Xinyi-Dao and why I believe that it's a unique and really very interesting system. Xinyi-Dao is an internal style related to Chen Taiji, Bagua, Yang style, all these other styles. But it has some unique features, even within the Xinyi family. And one of the things that makes it unique is that it includes the Dai family Dantian training methods. And Dai Xinyi is sort of like at the cusp between the older Muslim long fist style Xinyis and the newer, more internal, considered more internal style of Xinyis that are in Hebei and in Shanxi province. What is like really unique and super interesting about it is that there is a very, very clear progression from the most basic movements, basic simple movements that train the Dantian, through to progression of the 5 elements, and then variations of the 5 elements. And then once you understand the core principle, you can create all these different variations of the same basic internal movement and understand other styles and other movements in the same context. So for example, once I learned and I start to understand how the Dantian work in the Jie style and the Dai style, it gave me lots of insight into Chen Taiji, which I'd studied very intensely before I converted mostly to Xingyi. And then once you understand a little bit of the Chen style, you also get an insight into Yang style, which I'd studied even before that. So today, I'm just going to go through a little storytelling about how you can go from the basic squatting monkey through to the basic Xingyi Pitran to the variations of Pitran, and then how that varies into animals, and then how that understanding of how those animal movements within Xingyi can inform your Chen Taiji practice and also your Yang style practice. So from that, I'll just start. So the very beginning motion is squatting monkey, and squatting monkey, if you haven't seen before, it looks like this. It's not a very pretty name, but what it does is it trains the Dantian, the basic store and release. That's from the front. And here, store, release, store, release. There's 2 variations. There's the lower one, and then there's the upper one. And they train slightly different things. And then once you can do this, one leg, one leg, one leg, one leg. And once you can do that, then you can start stepping. So you see there's a very smooth progression. Here, you start here, go, go, go. And for me, as an engineer, this appeals a lot to me because it's systematic, there's a clear progression, and it's very logical. And then from there, once you get the basic squatting monkey, you do the Dai family Pitran. And once you get the basic one, notice that this stands like this. In the more commonly seen Xingyi, the stance are like this or like this. There's a 6-4 stance as opposed to bow stance. And the progression is straightforward. Go here, bow stance. And then after you just recover. So here, go, recover. The other difference is that in the Xingyi, not only has the timing of the footwork become tighter, the timing of the handwork has also become tighter. So for example, in this one beat, I call it. But when you go to Xingyi, not Xinyi, it is 1, 2, 1, 2. So you've gone from, way that's good for training basics to something that has tighter timing and tighter footwork. Alright? So that's the most basic Pitran. And then once you have Pitran, you can work variations. For example, this gives you an idea. You can see the circularity, but you can also make it more linear. In fact, you can make it very linear, kind of like what you see in the Hebei. or you can make the circles even bigger. So here, so linear, circular, it's all the same, as long as you get it in here and you train it. So that's sort of like the circle that's hidden within the line. And then the other thing you can do is you can just do variations. Here, right, lead hand, lead foot. You can also train it as lead foot, rear hand. And then of course, suddenly brush knee becomes very, very clear. Same internal, different external manifestation. The other thing you can do is, from here, you can make it bigger. You start to go to animal style, so you can do, for example, I showed a very large one like this. You can also start to do what they call tiger, Xinyi tiger. Here, here. And so that is a very large circular motion. And if you look at it, it may start to look like that, or, you know, in the more familiar opposite side. All we have to do is add a one-handed motion like this. And you have 6 ceiling 4 closing from Chen Tai Ji. And because you've understood the basic Xinyi, so for example in the Xinyi, as you do this motion here, it looks like, oh, the power is here. But in fact, you can do here and power here, or power here, or power here. Doesn't matter. It's all the same motion. Where you choose to express the power is up to you. You have the freedom to do so. And so, you know, here, 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 here. That's all just P-tron. And it's also, you convert it to here, you can say, okay, here, all the same. Then, if you have this, then, you know, it's not hard to understand this. It's all the same. And it all comes from understanding how squatting monkey trains the Dantian. And then going for the principle of that Dantian motion to all many variations. I hope you found that entertaining and interesting. And if you're interested in Xinyi-Dao, in the end credits there'll be lots of contact information. Thank you very much.